In the book of Isaiah, we encounter a powerful narrative about King Hezekiah, a man who faced the shadow of death and the looming threat of defeat. His story unfolds in chapters 38 and 39, where we witness a temporary reprieve granted by God, a reprieve that carries profound implications for both Hezekiah and the people of Jerusalem. Before we continue, just a reminder to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. By doing so, you'll stay connected and up to date with future content. Now let's continue delving into Isaiah chapter 38 to 39 and the message God has in store for us. Imagine the scene. Hezekiah, stricken with illness, receives a life-altering message from the prophet Isaiah. The message is stark and unmistakable. Set your house in order, for you shall die. In that moment, the weight of mortality crashes down upon him. Yet rather than resigning himself to despair, Hezekiah turns to God in fervent prayer. His heart cries out, pleading for mercy, for a chance to continue his reign and fulfill his purpose. And God, in his infinite grace, responds. He grants Hezekiah an additional 15 years of life. This miraculous extension of life is not just a personal blessing for Hezekiah, it serves as a profound sign for all of us. In Isaiah chapter 38 verse 18 we read, "For Sheol cannot thank you, death cannot praise you. Those who go down to the pit cannot hope for your faithfulness." Here, Hezekiah's experience becomes a powerful illustration of our hope for life beyond death. God's intervention in Hezekiah's life is a reminder that death is not the end of our story. We were created to glorify God, and even in death, we will not be thwarted in that purpose. The promise of life after death is woven into the fabric of our faith, and Hezekiah's reprieve serves as a tangible reminder of this truth. However, as we delve deeper into the narrative, we must ask ourselves how Hezekiah responds to this incredible act of divine mercy. In Isaiah chapter 38 verse 15, Hezekiah expresses gratitude and a renewed commitment to God. He sings a song of praise, celebrating God's faithfulness and the gift of life. But as we turn to chapter 39, we see a stark contrast in Hezekiah's actions. Instead of continuing in faithfulness, he becomes vulnerable to pride and insecurity. When envoys from Babylon arrive, Hezekiah, perhaps overwhelmed by his newfound lease on life, shows them all the treasures of his kingdom. He reveals the wealth and glory of Jerusalem, perhaps seeking validation or forming an alliance. This act, however, is not just a moment of folly. It is a significant departure from the trust he should have placed in God. Just after experiencing God's spectacular deliverance from the Assyrian threat, Hezekiah's decision to showcase his riches to the Babylonians reflects a troubling lack of faith. It is a moment of faithlessness, a misstep that will have dire consequences for the nation. Isaiah's response is sobering. He tells Hezekiah that everything he has shown to the envoys will one day be carried off into exile. The treasures that Hezekiah flaunted will not be his to keep. They will be taken away. This foreshadowing of Israel's defeat at the hands of the Babylonians serves as a poignant reminder that temporary reprieves can often mask deeper issues of faith and trust. Hezekiah's 15 additional years are indeed a gift, but they are also a reminder that God's grace is not to be taken for granted. As we reflect on Hezekiah's story, we must consider how we respond to God's rescue in our own lives. Each of us has experienced moments of divine intervention, times when we have been spared from difficulty, illness, or loss. Just as Hezekiah was given a second chance, we too are often granted opportunities to reflect on our lives and our relationship with God. How do we respond to these moments? Do we express gratitude and deepen our commitment to faith, or do we, like Hezekiah, allow pride and self-sufficiency to creep in? The call to apply this lesson is clear. In our moments of reprieve, we must remain vigilant in our faith. We should not allow temporary blessings to lead us away from our dependence on God. Instead, we should cultivate a heart of gratitude and a spirit of humility. Just as Hezekiah was called to trust God for his life and the security of Jerusalem, we are called to trust God in our circumstances. Whether we are experiencing abundance or facing trials, our response should always be one of faith, acknowledging that every good gift comes from above. As we navigate our own lives, let us remember the lessons from Hezekiah's story. Let us strive to respond to God's grace with unwavering faithfulness. When we are rescued from our struggles, let us use those moments to glorify God, to share our testimonies, and to encourage others in their faith journeys. Just as Hezekiah had a choice in how to respond to his reprieve, so do we. May we choose wisely, living each day in a manner that reflects our gratitude for God's mercy and our trust in His plans for our lives. In the end, the story of Hezekiah is not just about a king who received a temporary reprieve. It is about a God who desires a faithful relationship with His people, calling them to trust Him in all circumstances. Let us embrace that call, recognizing that our lives, like Hezekiah's, are meant to glorify God, both in life and beyond.
If this message resonates with you, take a moment to praise our Lord. Type, "Glory to Yahweh," in the comments as a declaration of praise and glory to our Father for His infinite love, mercy, and patience for us. God bless you.